Oh, hi, here I am. I'm live. Welcome to Monday Night Live. It's Yvonne here from Women's Fitness Adventures for the 14th of November. It seems like ages since I have been here because I have been off on a New Zealand Coast Bush and Canyons adventure. So it's been a good couple of weeks since I've been here at the desk and you're probably wondering where I have been. So that's where I've been. So welcome to Monday Night Live. There's a couple of things I want to talk about tonight. I've seen and heard over the last couple of weeks, and I really want to share those. And I've broken it up tonight into life lessons, hiking fitness lessons, and also next steps. So some quick short action things that you can do, whether you're a member or not of our Women's Fitness Adventures community. So if you missed it, I'm Yvonne, the founder and CEO of Women's Fitness Adventures. We are now coming to the end of our 8th year of Women's Fitness Adventures. Can you believe that? 8 years. And what a wonderful journey it's been. 25% of those in a pandemic, but a wonderful, rich learning experience that's given so much to so many women over all of those years. So if you are watching live, please let me know and I can give you a shout out and a hello. Otherwise, I know there's a lot of people that I actually met one today who's been watching us for quite a while but never says her name on live. So unless you mention your name or where you're from, I can't see you at all. And even when you do, I can't see you. So hi, Simone, and hi, Ellen. So we're from Queensland and from Victoria at the moment. So I know we have people watching from all over Australia and all other parts of the world as well. Whether you're watching live or on the replay, please let us know. So Monday Night Live, the 14th of November, how did we get here? This year has been, I don't know about for you, but it's gone fast, but it's been long as well. And so many things have happened professionally and personally. It's kind of like a whirlwind and a washing machine all at the same time. So I don't know if you're feeling like that or not. And hello, Linda. Lovely to have you here from Perth. I'm heading over your way for the new year. So I just love WA. And hello, Francis from Brisbane as well. So like I said, tonight is about some life lessons. I always have the opportunity to use our adventures when I go away to reflect on some of the mantras and the mottos that we have inside Women's Fitness Adventures, and also the reflections on life. And sometimes I think maybe I go too deep about it, but I always think that hiking parallels life a lot and adventures. Hi, Meg from Melbourne. Hi, Margaret in the air over Gladstone on the way to Townsville. And I just saw Margaret this morning. And hello, Heather from Brisbane. Welcome and lovely to have you here as well. So if you received our newsletter, which I sent out, I was ahead of myself, sent out a couple of hours ago to members and non-members, you may have read my heading about, some life lessons from Pancake Rocks. And Pancake Rocks are in this town of Punakaiki on the west coast of New Zealand. And they're named because they're shaped like pancakes. So the way that that they have been formed is they literally look like pancakes in rocks that have been stacked on top of one another. And so they're called Pancake Rocks. As a side note, when we took our children there, when my son was 3, he's now 20, he said they look more like sausage rolls than pancakes. And I mentioned that to him the other day, and he said he still thinks they look like sausage rolls. So there you go. And hi, Cherie. But I was standing there and just watching that wonderful and wild west coast of New Zealand, the ocean. And I do believe that all of us are our own ocean. I mean, we're made up of, a large percentage of water. But watching the ocean and the rocks, and, we can choose to be the ocean or we can choose to be the rock. And the ocean I was mesmerized, just coming in and out and pounding against the rocks, in and out, pounding, and just doing the same thing, moment after moment, day after day, month, year, decade, century. And the rock's just there, solid as a rock, but not really solid as a rock, because that constant wave formation or wave movement is pounding against that rock and causing erosion. And over time, the rock just crumbles into the ocean and a new form of coastline, a new part of the coastline is formed. And I likened this saying we have inside Women's Fitness Adventures, that consistency over time equals results. And the wave is consistent. It may not be the same wave every time. It may change and be gentle or rough or big or small or just a swell, but it's consistently showing up and it is pounding against that rock. And over time, it's just inching little bits of that rock away and away and away, until all of a sudden the ocean's really successful, because the ocean has knocked out the rock, it's moved the obstacles in its path and created a new coastline. And I liken ourselves, if we're wanting to move forward, to being our own powerful ocean. That consistency of showing up each and every time is a really powerful force inside of us if we can harness it in the right way. We can be consistent and not show up, be consistent sitting on the couch, be consistent, eating food or doing things that we know are harmful to our health or our long-term outcome. But we can use that consistency in our own quiet and powerful way. We don't have to shout about it. We don't have to, let everybody know. But the simple act of showing up every day and, being consistent, of moving forward, will produce some glorious results in the end. And sometimes it might take a short time, sometimes it might take a long time, but it will produce results. Or if you flip it around, we can actually be the rock, and we can stand still and let all the elements come around us and pound us and influence our thoughts and our actions and stop us or prevent us or inhibit us from doing things. And then our journey is not our own. So we can choose to be the rock or the ocean. And I think, and on all of our adventures, multi-day adventures, we have awards. And one of our awards on the New Zealand Coast Bush and Canyons, where we were, was given to a wonderful lady who, I can't remember the exact name of the award, but it was basically in her own, and she's in her 70s, in her own gentle, quiet, yet powerful way, she is the ocean. She has created, I have known her since her 50s, the foundations of fitness that just propel her forward. And in her 70s is fitter and stronger and more capable of hiking than a lot of women half her age. So she got this beautiful award about the power of the ocean, because she has that power within her. Hello, Diana from Queenstown. I saw your pictures today. How lovely, how exciting. And Leanne from atop of Mount Gloria, still making your way home from this morning's hike. Okay, lovely, Leanne. It was so nice to meet you this morning as well. So thank you for all of you who letting me know that you're watching and where you're watching from. But we can also hang on to a lot of things. So we can have this beautiful, powerful force within us that moves us forward and consistently show up. But we can also hang on to a lot of things as well. We can hang on to some things from our childhood that, I think I've said this before, that I was, told or led to believe I wasn't a very good singer. And now I'm getting better, as in not getting better at singing, but getting better at just singing. As those of you who do functional fitness live with me will know, I just now sing it out. But we can hang on to some things that don't serve us. We can hang on to, or define ourselves by a lot of things of our past. And, that really prevents us from moving forward as well. And we are what we hang on to. We are those things, those names, the injury, the illness, the person we say we are to ourselves. We are, and we become and behave like that person. So, a lot of that power, that ocean, is within us to see and do and be whoever we want to be, if we just keep moving forward in our own powerful way of where we want to go. But I was also reflecting in the last couple of weeks that, as I've got busier here at work, at the desk, a lot more, paperwork has come my way over the 9 years since we started. And, life is really designed for us not to move. We have the car, we have, everything we have the remote control. We don't even have to get off the couch to change the TV. We haven't for decades. We have a microwave. We just stick it in there and stand at the microwave for 2 minutes rather than over the stove for 20 minutes. The car is there. If I have to drop something at the post office, do I choose to walk there? Probably not, because I have 50 million other things to do. And I was reflecting on this over the past week, and how life is really designed to be convenient. It's taken the need for movement out of our everyday life. And it's really hard to make space for movement. As women, we, can be as disciplined as we want, but as life gets busy, we are natural nurturers, and we will always put everybody's needs before ours. So sometimes that means, and I've been in this, the hiking fitness for 10 years, but women's fitness for 16, 17 years now. And as women, we will always put other people's needs above our own. So if we think about, there is no reason to move. We have to find reasons to move. That this power of the ocean, finding your goal and consistently moving towards your goal. And if that means turning off the phone for an hour in the middle of the day and going for a walk, or getting up half an hour earlier, just finding that space for your movement, it is going to pay off in the long term, the power of the ocean. But I was also reflecting and having some wonderful conversations about why some people are successful and why others aren't. So two people can enroll in the same course or the same program, or a running program, or a fitness course or a weight loss program, whatever it might be. And why is one person more successful than the other? It's because one of the people has more clearly defined goals. They actually know what they want, and they feel compelled to move towards it, and they consistently show up and take action towards getting those results. Whereas, I do a lot of courses, and, the completion rate for courses is something abysmal. Something like 80% of people who enroll in a course will never finish it. And is that, we can't just enroll in something or belong to something and feel by osmosis that it's actually going to change us. So, some people are more successful than others because they've found that motivation, or, found it deep within, because it isn't just sitting out there, that they don't bury their head in the sand either. We can all, and a lot of the conversation I've had over the last couple of weeks and months is about everybody's COVID kilos. And we can all bury our head in the sand and say it's just an extra couple of kilos, which is fine. But if we actually want to do something about it, then we actually have to do something about it. So that's why some people are successful. We can just assume that she'll be right, and it's always worked in the past and it's going to work in the future. Or we can actually move forward and be successful with the consistency of showing up towards the goal that we want. So defining that goal is really important. Alvina loves my singing. It makes the classes fun. Oh, thank you, Alvina. And over the past couple of weeks, I've had quite a few people reasonably close to me with some really significant health scares. Well, not health scares, health issues. And it's, the reality is always there, that someone we know and love and who is near and dear to us has a health scare. And whether that's breast cancer scares, whether that's mobility scares, whether that's heart scares, the reality is that, it could be any one of us that has this health issue present itself. And, as we age, the incidence of getting them is the risk increases. But, the flip side of that is that the conversations have been around the power of living in the moment, that you just, especially now, never know when something's going to not be there for you, or the cookie jar of how long do I have? And we can do, if we're moving towards all those things that make us healthier, and we all say we want our health and fitness it is our priority, but how many are actually doing something to move toward it? I'm going to dwell on that. And if you'd love to make a comment, that would be great, because the whole world literally mostly says health and fitness is a priority, yet the whole world is not actually getting healthier and fitter. The whole world is actually on a downward trend of creating a health crisis that's coming towards us. And we're seeing that in the hospital systems already. So, the idea of living in the moment and appreciating what we have and doing all that we can while we can is absolutely fantastic. And I applaud everyone who does that, with the view that they're moving consistently and showing up towards those things that are going to matter for them in the future. And perhaps the greatest quote that I had heard in a long time from one of our members who was on our New Zealand Coast, Bush and Canyons just now 2 weeks ago was someone said, I'm often asked if I'm going to open up a a retirement home, so all of the Women's Fitness Adventures members can go and live there together, and we just get the bus to pull us up, which is a pretty interesting idea. That someone said, and we'll all wheel our wheelie walkers out to the front of the centre and get on the bus and go off on hiking. And one of the members in the group, Jo, said, no. She said, I'm actually doing all of this right now. I'm doing my hiking. I'm doing my fitness. I'm looking after myself now so that I don't even get to the stage where I need a wheelie walker. And I think that's probably the best quote of all, is that we are doing things now that will give us those skills to go forward, the building the strength in our bodies, building the strength in our minds, building the strength in our heart and our health and our knowledge of, the things that are good for us that will, stand us in good stead going forward. And I think that was just such a wonderful quote. Let me know what you think about that. So they're my life lessons from New Zealand, that, the ocean is powerful for all of us, and we can all be our own ocean. We are what we hang on to. We are what we say to ourselves. Life is designed not to move. It's easy. I think some ridiculous amount of statistic is that, the average distance people walk in a national park is 300 to 700 meters, because most people don't go beyond the lookout. It's pretty scary because there's so much beauty beyond the lookout. And why are some people successful and make progress and others don't? And it's that consistency, that being our own ocean of showing up every single time. And I've said this before, it's the compounding fitness. I am so much, my body shape has changed over the last 9 years. Menopause, I think, is causing some body shape changes as well. But regardless of that, I am so much stronger than what I was 10 years ago. And that's just that compounding fitness of showing up and doing the things day after day, not every day. I'm not always the star student, but, just that showing up and moving towards the things that I know are making me stronger for life. And that, lots of health scares around, and that we do all need to make the most of every single opportunity that we have while we can. And, I loved my husband's grandma who, it didn't matter. She was in her 80s, whether we would just ring her up and say, hey, Grandma, you want to come out for coffee? Absolutely. Hey, Grandma, we're going to the park. Do you want to come? We're 15 minutes away. Absolutely. Not this, I've in my past years had tickets to all sorts of things, and I would say to someone, you want to come to a free gala dinner for this? No, I've got nothing to wear. Do you want to come to a free concert for this? No, I'm got to wash my hair. Make the most of every single opportunity, because those opportunities are put there for a reason, and you just never know where they might take you. So that is my life lessons. The hiking fitness lesson that I want to share is that in terms of hiking uphill. And I am so proud of our this year's cohort of Couch to Mountain girls who some were with me on Hike About this morning. And it's the puffing uphill. There's this myth that, it's not a myth. Most women don't like getting puffed. Most women don't like getting out of breath. And we think it's a failure of us if we get puffed when we're going up a hill. Let me assure you that you cannot get up a hill without puffing, right? Because if you're not puffing, you're not breathing, and I don't recommend that. But it's not how quickly you get up the hill. It's not whether you puff or not. It's how quickly your breath recovers. And our Couch to Mountain girls in this year's cohort, so our second year of running it, are at the pointy end. We're almost at the summit. We've got a couple of weeks before we're on the summit of Mount Kosciuszko. Have shown that power of consistency and that power of showing up in their own ocean, their own wave formation that they're creating by showing up each and every time. And these ladies were on the literal couch, with having had, COVID or injury or illness and setbacks and stuff, and have literally come from the couch. And we will be on the summit of that mountain in a couple of weeks' time. And that transformation, that journey, that action of showing up every single time. But I was most proud of them this morning because we were huffing and puffing going up a hill, but we kept going. And it would have been really easy to say, I'm out, I'm done, I'm out. But we just kept going. And even our team who have been coming for a long, long time on our Monday program, we really gave everyone a push along this morning, and it's okay. It's okay to step out of that comfort zone, because when you step out of that comfort zone, you actually grow. So let me check in with some comments here, and that's it exactly. Cherie says, I am so much stronger than I was a year ago, thanks to Women's Fitness Adventures. And I know, Cherie, that you had watched for a long time because you were stuck in another state and couldn't get home. And, you know, I've seen that transformation of you, and we often comment as leaders just how much your life has been enriched since you've joined, and how much stronger you are, not just physically, but in every other way as well. And Ellen says, that is so true. I have an 80-year-old friend who has bowel cancer. She is really fit and flexible. Yep, she has amazed her surgeon with how well she has bounced back from a very serious operation and is now going to do chemo with a very good prognosis of recovery. I really believe her fitness and flexibility prior to being ill has contributed in a huge way to her dealing with a serious issue really well. Absolutely, Ellen. I totally agree. And, you know, if we go into an illness, which could strike any of us, you know, I'm not saying by being fitter that we're going to avoid anything. But if we go, if we are looking after ourselves and, you know, being on top of our fitness game, it doesn't mean we're elite athletes, but we're on top of our fitness game. We're, you know, in all those parameters of what is a healthy person, and something does come our way, then our chances of getting through this are so much improved than if we were coming from a place where we weren't in the best health. And, you know, thank you for sharing that, Ellen, because that is so true. I know when my husband had his cancer 5 years ago, his prostate cancer, that he got in the best shape. I mean, he's in pretty good shape anyway, that he could possibly be, because he knew that to recover, being in a good place to start with, was going to make that recovery a whole lot easier. So thank you for sharing that, Ellen. Christine says, fitness is part of my long-term health plan. Yep, there seems to be 2 steps forward and 1 back, but I don't give up. Absolutely, Christine. And it's like the ocean, right? It's those ebbs and flows. And I think the very fact that we're not giving up is testament to, you know, that consistency and the power of showing up. And I often say this as well, that, you know, if little babies gave up when they started to walk, and that is literally 2 steps forward, 1 step back, then where would we be as a civilization? It's, you know, for every gain we make, there might be a little bit setback, but overall it's that compounding fitness that I love, that long-term health plan includes your fitness. I absolutely love that. Margaret says, consistency has paid off for me over the last few years, allowing me to achieve goals in my life as a whole. Absolutely. And you should see Margaret. She is amazing. I will keep at it to continue achieving more goals throughout my entire life. Yep. And I know, Margaret, life has dealt you some doozies over the last couple of years. And, you know, the life is hard for all of us, and not saying that, you know, when we're fitter, life is easier, but sometimes those things are a little bit easier to manage because we are, you know, feeling strong within ourselves. And absolutely, you should see Margaret grow. She just completed our Iceland adventure. And this morning I saw Margaret and she was powering around those hills. And Leanne says, I love the push you gave me this morning. So I met Leanne for the first time this morning. It was hard work, but I felt great and proud of myself afterwards. Absolutely. And, you know, I often, I have a very good friend, and we say this, that when was the first time that we did something? When was the last time we did something for the first time? Because as adults, we choose not to, or may think, I haven't done that before, I'm not going to do it again. I don't know anyone. I don't want to look silly. I don't want to look crazy. What will people think? I don't know how to do it. So I'm just not going to do it at all. And I think that doing something for the first time may push us out of our comfort zone, but it does make us stronger as well. So I'm just going to share, if you are watching and aren't a member yet, you can join our membership community, which is Australia and the US, and I think Singapore as well. We have some members there. But you can join from wherever you live and join in our community of in-person and online adventures in Australia and around the world. So the next steps, you know, there's lots of things going on inside our membership community for members, and that's all in tonight's newsletter, is your personal challenge. So, you know, if you, and hi Sandy from Toowoomba, if you are are finding that of the things we discussed, that you're struggling with consistency, then perhaps write yourself a plan of how I can be more consistent. You know, we always find time for the things that are important in our life. So if moving every day or every other day is important, then you'll find the time for it. And I think I've said this before as well, that if it's not important and you keep beating yourself up that, if fitness is important and you're not making space for it, or movement every day is important and you're not making space for it, then it's not really important, because it's not going to happen if you don't make the priority for it. So have a look at diaries. This is your next step. Have a look at your diaries and see where you can make some space. You know, there is so much time that we can waste on these things. And maybe it's just scheduling out a 5 or 10 minute block. I joined I'm always downloading apps about different programs and stuff. And I joined one the other day, and what a waste of money. What an absolute waste of money. And it's like, it's everything I knew, but I joined it thinking, oh, well, maybe there's something new. Total waste of money. It's everything we all know. We all know what to do. It's that power and consistency of showing up and doing it. But the other challenge is to, the first challenge is to think of yourself as the power of the ocean, and that movement every day or every other day, and making space for that. The second challenge is to listen to the language and the voices in your head. So are you hanging on to some things that aren't serving you well? And the third one is to, if you're not feeling that you're moving forward, have a look at what is it that you're doing or not doing that you could probably tweak just a little bit to move yourself forward. And I know now the weather's warming up. You know, we get lots of excuses: too hot, I'm not coming, too hot. And when it's raining, not coming, raining. When it's cold, it's too dark to get out of bed, right? I think, and Leanne and I were talking this morning about that James, I can't remember his name, he's a podcaster in New Zealand. And, the most successful athletes in the world have strategies to do their exercise regardless of the conditions. So if that's you, being the fair weather fitness person, challenge yourself and have a look at your diary there as well. And then the final one is to live in the moment. You know, are there opportunities, Bevan James Isles, that's right. Are there opportunities that are out there in whatever shape or form that are passing you by because, we're not living in the moment? So have a think about all of those for this week. And as I said, with our members, there's lots of amazing things. Oh, yeah, true, Ellen. I have once said it, and there's this book by Bonnie Brzezowski called The Hardest Choice. Make the Harder Choice is the name of the book. I don't think you can get it anywhere, but it's called Make the Harder Choice. And it is true. The hard choice is always the best choice. My kids hate me for that. But it is always the best choice. Have a think about that and live by that mantra, or what would your mum say, is the other one I get them to go by. So that's it for me from this week. Now, I have a special treat for you next Monday night. I'll be in Sydney, coming to you from Sydney town, just in an apartment, but Sydney. And I have some special guests with me from our Trekking in Tuscany adventure next week on Monday Night Live. So they're going to be sharing their stories, just like we did with Iceland. They're going to be sharing their stories of adventure from our Tuscany trip that we did in September. And, I can tell you a whole lot of things, but there's nothing nicer than hearing from a couple of our members who enjoyed it. Now, let me just check if you want to make any comments. I'll just check them. Tracy says, hi from Yulong. When our physical health is consistent, it helps our mental health to be in a good place. Absolutely, Tracy. And that's my space as well. And hiking gives us all good mindfulness. It does, that power of putting one foot in front of the other. And I often say, and we were chatting about this on Sunday on some hiking I was doing, one of our members that had a really rough night and was, a little bit upset. But Mother Nature knows exactly what to do. She just, just being out there in her space, the absence of buildings and the fresh air and, the forest bathing and all the other stuff, Mother Nature knows how to wrap her arms around you and put us in a good space. And I challenge everyone who, if you're struggling a little, just get outside and take your shoes off, put your feet in the footpath, or not the footpath, on the grass next to the footpath, and, you know, just get some of that good earth coming into you. So Tracy, thank you for sharing that. I think that's really, really important. So that's it for me from tonight. Thank you so much for joining in. Like I said, though, if you aren't a member and want to join, we've got a couple of spaces left on some of our multi-day adventures for next year. So I'd love to have you join us for them. And that's it. So next week I will have our members who came with me in Tuscany. So they'll be online next Monday night. So I look forward to seeing you then, Monday night at 5 o'clock. And for our members, I'm online every night this week. So hopefully catch up with you then. Thanks. Bye.